talk radio calling in, talk radio is talking to your family and conveying what you know and hear in your family. Your children and grandchildren. That's true. And we talked about the inability to hear different information if you're not a real individual, if you're stuck within what a mantra has been that people have told you. It's very threatening to think in a different way than other people that you know. So this is for you? Is it TH? Okay.
And it's so funny, I watched Sunday the President's related.
Yes, that's true.
Wishes. But I always told the 10 grandchildren and all of them look at each other.
Yeah, well, they should be down this way.
What about friends? Do you have any social groups, any book clubs, any kind of, any other kind of because if you can't realize, right, I can't influence my grandchildren or a couple of children, then make a point then of I hate to say this would be a general family, but of contradicting their vote with influencing someone you can influence. And branching out beyond, like for me, I influence my sister a little bit, and I have friends who are liberals, and I listen a little, but I know that on the radio, I can counter, my neighbors are but I know that I can counter their vote by influencing two other people who maybe weren't thinking politically at all. And so I try to reach beyond my own, knowing that, all right, if this is too close to home and family, and I'm not going to hear it like grandma or my mom, your ability to influence at maybe volunteering in a local high school and community. But see, realizing even just a lot of times kids don't even hear someone.
A little bit, yeah. Have you read that book?
And they were just like the teacher came up when I closed each one of my classes. Even hearing that, kids are thinking, and are there more? It's just us two.
Okay, so
and I would ask you,
We might not get out here, but
unless you offer the presence. If your presence and influence is not being heard well, then you know what? Expand it out. It would be interesting for you. And you think if I influence out of 10 kids, if one kid says, well, and that kid then in 4 or 5 years when they go, might remember that conversation and make a difference. That's what I think our responsibility is. Family is one thing, but it's just like in politics you have, it's always, the grass is always greener on the other side. That you also have baggage, family, and history, and with other people, you might find a tremendous influence in a different variety of kind of ways. Not even like what I do in a hard-hitting way for each day, but in tutoring. If you're going to tutor a kid in reading or writing, or even reading in some of the books, being available for kids who don't. Like I grew up, my mother worked. I grew up. Did not have a grandparent influence, didn't have any historical influence there, no religious influence. Having someone like you, a woman with influence, experience, say, here's what I was doing when I was your age, and here's what I know to be important now. You'll find not every kid will respond, but you'll find the smart ones who will. So I would ask you to do that.
I grew up with nothing, and I never felt like I needed to make my life work. And I did what little I had to raise my 4 children, and I don't miss any of the garbage that people need. And all you need is
See, I'll tell you, there are a lot of kids, and I would have been one of them, who would have responded to that. If I heard it. Now again, not everyone will, but when you find the gems, the kids from the inner city, kids who are looking, kids who are hearing certain kinds of messages, you will find the ones who are ready for the message. And just in a general way, be able to at least lead them into some life of independence. And that when they have independence, they're also going to be more their own person, less conformist, and that will naturally lead them into a moderate position in society. And I'd recommend that for you in some kind of capacity at schools, at libraries, in your own communities, with your peers. Book clubs are a great way to have discussions that are fun and safe.
I had one, my oldest son, he's very much exactly like me. And he's a United Airlines pilot. And
I'm flying United today.
Oh, he's a jerk.
All right. Not going Delta?
But he tried, he has had such problems with the fellows that he was co-pilot. He don't want to hear it.
Here, I'll tell you, even though it seems frustrating, the last year's election is an indication that Americans, when they hear, and that, you know, war is important and all of us worry about our family, Americans do, and Winston Churchill said, Americans always do the right thing eventually. And no, instead of worrying, here's our responsibility, because you get, instead of worrying about what will happen, it is acting now while you can. You're vibrant, you're still active, there are women your age who are not. You can have an influence. And there are many kids these days who don't have an influence of someone other than their peers. Their families and their own parents aren't around. There are so many opportunities in this bookstore probably, in the local library, again, in tutoring, to introduce certain kinds of books, to introduce certain kinds of ideas. Now, some kids will reject them, just pick up minds of their own. But maybe nobody said to them before, have you, like with the new thought police, take a look at this, let's talk about it. You'll disagree with some stuff, agree with some things, but read this or read a chapter a day or a week, and we'll come and we'll talk about it. It'll be fascinating what happens when just ideas are discussed in a safe environment. But instead of worrying, what I do every day is I do something to make a discussion happen. And you're in a terrific position to do that personally on a day-to-day basis. Will you promise me you'll think about it?
Yes, I will. And
okay.
If you promise me that you will get, if you won't write a book, if you go out on the stump with maybe some more people like
well,
you,
I might do more public
talk
speaking.
about Hillary Clinton before she gets.
I might do like a one-woman show. Maybe I'll do a one-woman show, and we'll have discussions like this.
Uh-oh.
I hear a yes.
That I would love to hear that.
Now, you know how well I do this, right?
Yes.
We're going to do this. Got all those things right.
Excellent.
Actually, that turned out really well.
And since I've written the book, and that took a lot for me, use them as tools. Use my work. You know, and maybe it's about donating some of the books to the local school or to the local library, making sure it's available to them.
But I encourage where kids get in trouble if they bring books to school with someone who thinks conservatively.
Well,
they always like to please in that.
Yeah, there's, you know, in the New American Revolution, I described some of these things seem overwhelming, and I described it as eating the elephant one bite at a time. Instead of looking at the problem of school and that's the issue, you think, all right, what can I do that will enhance my life and will make a difference one step at a time, one bite at a time. If we looked at all the things you want in the world, it would be overwhelming, and you just sit down and you think, what's going to happen? If you focus on, if you looked at the whole outfit, how can I eat this? One bite at a time is how it always works, and you do it one bite, one step. I mean, in the blink of an eye. I'm 43 now. I remember when I was 20, and in the blink, I'll remember this conversation, and I'll be 70, I hope, if I make it. And I'll remember us having this conversation, and it's the same way. You're remembering when you grew up and you were having your attitude, and now here you are, it's 2005. And each day goes by, it's going to go by, take one step, make a choice. Influencing young people, not indoctrinating them, but opening some doors.
I take care of my 6-year-old granddaughter 5 days a week. So I know and with her, everything in my life is new today. Nothing of the garbage that happened back then. We are living today.
Well, you've already got it, but there is also beyond that. You have something significantly special to give an individual. Don't just have that many days where your granddaughter maybe was one day have her volunteer somewhere. We take care of it. You keep trying. Look into it. Make some phone calls. See about that. and make the impact yourself. Follow up on what I'm doing on the air, what I'm doing with my book, and take it into the community. That's my advice.